Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is going to be our last video of the class. We only have a couple days left. Week 7.5 started on Friday, and this is being this was uploaded on Sunday, so we really only have a couple days left. Just a couple of kind of logistical things, housekeeping things to keep in mind. Anything, any kind of late work, anything at all, I'm still willing to take a look at. It just needs to be in by Wednesday at 5. And that's because I need to have everything done, all my T's crossed, all my I's dotted, before grades are officially handed in on Thursday morning. So I've got to have everything in by then. Wednesday at 6 o'clock is going to be too late. 5 o'clock is the latest. So I'm going through the papers. I like the papers. I think you're doing really well. If you've lost points, it may be because your argument was not very clear. Maybe you had more of a descriptive essay or something like that, and not as much of an argumentative one. You may have lost some points because of things like grammar as well, or poor structuring. But for the most part, I see some really good stuff. So I'm getting through those pretty quickly, and I should get through the rest of the ones that have been loaded up to ePortfolio by tomorrow. So we're almost done. Almost done. A couple days left, and then you can have that first philosophy class under your belt. I've really enjoyed it. I think you've been a really good class. I've been very, very impressed with how much you've been discussing in these discussion boards. You've really taken advantage of them, and that's impressive to me. I'm seeing how a lot of you are really talking a lot in this last discussion board about becoming better critical thinkers, and how you really think that you've been stretched this semester to become a better critical thinker. And that warms my heart. That's the whole point, okay? And so it makes me very happy to hear that kind of stuff. Look, we are in desperate need of lots of really good critical thinkers today. There is such a strong temptation to just coast through life, to be led by what our so-called intellectual superiors want us to do, to be led by entertainers, to be led by politicians, to be led by politicians who act as entertainers, and there are many of them, not just a handful. And we are in desperate need for men and women who will really put their brains to good use, who will be good, solid critical thinkers. But in order to do that, you need to really understand what it is to be a critical thinker. What goes into it? How do I separate the reason and the emotion? They're both in there. They're both important. How do those things govern me? And how am I led by them? We need a good, solid understanding of ethics. What is right? What is wrong? Is there right? Is there wrong? Yes, there is. But it's not always easy to understand. All of these things inform critical thinking, and this is something that is so essential in terms of success out in the world today. We're thinking not just about being a critical thinker when it comes to the presidential election, or when it comes to choosing the right career for me. This is essential when it comes to raising kids, when it comes to choosing relationships, when it comes to having an understanding of how do I spend my money, how do I invest my money, things like that. You're seeing how philosophy, this may have been a surprise to you, really does lay a good solid foundation for the rest of your life. This is not just old guys with funny names running around in togas and and sandals in ancient Greece or something like that, talking about things like the meaning of life, or is there a God, or what is justice, or things like that. Look, those are all very, very important. But this is something that really does touch upon every aspect of your life. Remember that the word philosophy itself is a compound word. It means love of wisdom. You're a philosopher, you're a lover of wisdom. And that's the point. Knowledge is good. Intelligence is good. Learning is good. But we want something more than that. We want wisdom. We want to be able to make good decisions. We want to be smart. But we also want to be somebody who is known as wise. It's not always easy to understand what that means. It's not always easy to kind of pin that down. But we know that it's something we want. And a class like this is really trying to kind of start you on that path. What is wisdom? How do I get that? I need to be a rational, reasonable person. I need to be able to understand my emotions and how they govern me. I need to be able to think ethically. I need to be able to communicate effectively. All these things really kind of inform what it means to be a critical thinker. But to be a critical thinker is somebody who's well on that path towards being a wise person. And who doesn't want to be wise? I certainly do. And I know you do too. Because again, this is more than just career. Brian Stratton would talk so much about career readiness. All of that is important. Truth is, though, a class like this is not just preparing you for that career. This class is really there to try to help you become a better person, a more informed citizen. It's to help you better understand why you think the way you think. And if you understand that, you're going to have a better understanding of why you act the way you act. This is philosophy. This is the pursuit of wisdom. And I hope, at the very least, you got a solid foundation in this class. And you have an appreciation for this. Now, what do you do going forward? I don't think most of you are going to sit down on the weekend and start reading Plato or Immanuel Kant or Schopenhauer or something. That's great, but I doubt it. But I think you do need to do things like open yourself up to different opinions. Try to understand why people think differently from you. You need to read widely, broadly. That's something that doesn't always come easily, but you need to challenge yourself intellectually. Don't just think, well, look, finally I'm done with school. I don't need to worry about any of that thinking anymore. I'm all done with it. No, your education is just starting, all right? This is something that won't end until, frankly, you end. You know, many, many years from now when you pass away, this education process is going all the way until then. So be somebody who is intellectually curious. Be somebody who looks for different opinions, looks for different ways of thinking through certain kinds of problems. Be somebody who is interested in reading, just not just the headlines or things that you see in the Wall Street Journal, but great works of literature, great works of history, maybe even some great works of philosophy. All these things are going to make you better prepared for your career. All these things are going to make you a better, more informed citizen, and I think it's going to give you a more fulfilled, more enriched life. Yes, I've talked this up quite a bit, but I do believe this. I really do. In the end, I'm glad you were part of this class. I do hope you got something out of it. I know I did, and I really mean that. I think you really were a fantastic class, and I learned a lot from you. So best of luck as you finish up this class, and as all of you continue on finishing your degree and moving on into bigger and even better things. So I wish you all the best, and stay in touch. You know where to find me. Thanks, folks.